We'll turn to politics now. And as we said, Ron DeSantis has officially entered the 2024 White House race. And as we said, the live stream event on Twitter got off to kind of a rocky start, crashing several times with the announcement delayed by more than 20 minutes due to a series of technical glitches.
All right, sorry about that. We've got so many people here that I think we are kind of melting the servers.
Let's see. So, here we go. Yeah, I think so.
Just to simplify this.
So let's see.
So we just keep crashing, huh?
I think we're back online here. Great. All right. Well, it's certainly an incredible honor to have Governor DeSantis make this stark announcement.
The technical troubles drew mockery on social media. President Joe Biden posted a link to his donation page, writing simply, "This link works." And former President Donald Trump had a series of posts on Truth Social calling the announcement fatal and a disaster. He also had one strange post where he wrote, quote, "Rob, my red button is bigger, better, and stronger and is working." Truth? Wait, I'm so uncomfortable right now. Yours does not. Per my conversation with Kim Jong-un of North Korea, soon to become my friend. I'm going to let that just sit right there. Okay.
That's one of those, if a relative posts that, you send somebody to the house.
You do. You really need,
in.
at this point, you need to intervene. You need to help.
Somebody's got to step in there. Meanwhile, a senior DeSantis campaign official later defended the launch, writing, "Governor DeSantis broke the internet. That should tell you everything you need to know about the strength of his candidacy." All right. DeSantis also tried to spin the technical difficulties as excitement for his campaign. That was during a Fox News interview last night.
We had a huge audience. It was the biggest they'd ever had. It did break the Twitter space. And so we're really excited with the enthusiasm. But ultimately, it's about the future of our country.
Have Willie say raise
Meanwhile, a
$1 million.
DeSantis spokesperson tweeted that the campaign raised $1 million online in just 1 hour, while a top advisor claimed more than 700,000 people joined the virtual rollout. The Florida governor enters the race with a big cash advantage. Politico reported last month his state re-election account had $80 million left over from his gubernatorial race. Didn't need that, won by 19 points. That now can be transferred to a federal PAC. And a super PAC for DeSantis reportedly has raised $33 million. That official number will not, though, be made public until July. So that may be the point, Jen, for the campaign, that they got some attention. They were not the kind they wanted, but they raised a bunch of money, and that this won't matter in the long term. But as someone who has been a communications director on many campaigns and in the White House, as John Howman listens to some Tina Turner over on his phone there.
Give me your phone.
That's fair.
It was a small glitch. Miki, you've had these before.
Wait.
That was Bill Clinton. That was Bill Clinton in 1992. I was doing some research for this segment.
It just proves the excitement for your campaign.
You were showing us how DeSantis launched and how you had.
There was a little bit. That was a technical glitch
There
too.
was a glitch.
I broke the Morning Joe set. So.
Okay, fair enough.
The great news is we're going to fix this in post. Right?
Yes, exactly. So, Jen, as a communications professional, you thought what as that rolled out last night?
I mean, it was an abomination, but and just so much hubris all around from DeSantis, from Musk. Like, oh, by the way, 700,000 people is not that much. Like, Twitter should be able to handle 700,000 people. But for the MAGA base, which surprisingly is the group of voters that, DeSantis does seem to be going for, not the moderate Republicans. He's going for the MAGA base. I'm sure they loved the unconventionality. They loved the finger in the eye of the press. And, Tim Scott needed a good launch. He needed a good launch to introduce himself, and DeSantis doesn't need a great launch to have a great campaign. Everybody knows the Republican voters know who he is. They're interested in him. They like him. It was probably, I think in the end, they're thinking this was worth the trouble that we did.
Joe.
Yeah, it was really a really bad start. I've been saying it could be a 1 day, 2 day story depending on what happens as we move forward. It's a very long campaign. I will say, just backing up though, thinking of it, I always tell people when they're running for office, I said your two most important days are the day you launch and the day you count the votes. And the day you launch sets the tone of everything, shows people how professional you are, that you actually know what you're doing. That's the one day. That's kind of like the first attack. You know, Mike Tyson always had the joke that everybody has a plan until somebody, gets punched in the face the first time. This is the first punch, and you control that. And as Jen knows far better than me, and Rev knows, who's run before, far better than me, after that punch, you don't control anything. It's all incoming, and it's all how you respond to incoming that responds to what kind of candidate you are. And so, John Heilemann, based on that. On that measurement, it really was an embarrassment for the DeSantis campaign. I mean, they say they broke the internet. They ended up with 200,000 people watching, listening, whatever they were doing. If they'd gone on Fox, they would have had well over 1 million people. If they'd gone on, a lot of cable news shows, they would have had over 1 million. If they'd gone on broadcast, they would have probably had even more people. If they'd gone on some other show, so it seems they made the worst of all choices. That said, though, this was for a candidate. And also for like Silicon Valley tech engineers who hate the mainstream media, not engineers, titans who hate the mainstream media, who hate wokeness, to put that in quotes, and always, want to play the aggrieved. It probably worked.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure for anybody. Look, I think it's to your point, Joe. I think it's you can launch a presidential campaign poorly and still win your party's nomination. It's happened. But this is it's a free shot at doing something really well. And if you do it really well, it can be something that people remember forever. And I'll I think of my friend Jennifer Palmieri here, thinking back to, for example, 2008, where Hillary Clinton announced from her sunroom. And then you had these images, within a few days. I think Obama went first, but you had Barack Obama at the old State House in Springfield, Illinois, on a cold day, giving an inspiring speech. That produced not just a huge audience that watched it initially, but it was in thousands of Obama campaign ads. It was a moment that people look back on, set the tone and tenor for the campaign, and gave them enormous amounts of coverage. And people at Hillary Clinton's world thought that she gave a very nice speech in that sunroom, but it was not a thing anybody would ever remember again. And it was a missed opportunity. Donald Trump, for all the criticism and all the terrible things that he said when he got down to the end of that escalator in 2016, people still talk about it today. Donald Trump coming down the escalator in Trump Tower, he made an iconic moment for himself. And part of the reason I was trying to remember, Bill Clinton also announced the old State House in October of 1991 in Little Rock, a thing that, again, was in campaign ads for all of 1992. This is, can you win without a great launch? You can. But you have, as you said, Joe, there's a free throw here. And you have all the time in the world, as Ron DeSantis has, to set this up and get it right. And they blew it in that sense, a missed opportunity. And I will say, having come at the end of all of the flubs in the pre-campaign, all the things they've screwed up in the last 2 or 3 months, it is creating this question, which you never want to face if you're a presidential candidate, which is the filter, us, the media, and people in the political world looking at you going, hey, can anybody here play this game? That's not the way you want people to be greeting your entrance into the race.
Well, and I do think that's the big question coming from donors especially, and also the base, and people saying in the Republican Party, who can beat Donald Trump right now? This is the one thing you completely control. It's all in your control. And he ceded the control to a glitchy platform with a guy who was, he just knew he was going to take up a lot of the space, a lot of the oxygen. And he knew that, and he made the move anyway. But Rev, John's so right. You look back at Barack Obama's opening announcement. You look back at Ronald Reagan, the way he launched his fall campaign in front of the Statue of Liberty in 1980. You talk about the launch of your campaign and talk about how the launch matters so much. It does set the tone. And here, again, this could all be forgotten in a week or two. That said, unfortunately, too often it foreshadows either problems or strengths in the campaign to follow.
Well, I think you want to launch by giving the optics of your message and why you're running. I mean, I launched having a rally and having a lot of the people that mattered to the people that I was hoping would vote for me standing there with me. But that was the message I wanted to give. And I think those that you mentioned did similar launches. I think that not only was this a mess up, the thing we have to keep in mind is DeSantis is challenging Donald Trump, who will never let us forget that he messed up the launch. So we can say for anyone else, it's one day, tomorrow to be something else. Every chance Trump gets, he's going to say, how can this man run the economy when he can't run a launch? How can this man handle international global affairs when he can't handle a launch? I mean, if you were running against candidates that would move on, I would say, don't worry about it, Governor DeSantis. But you run against Donald Trump, he will never let you forget it. And more importantly, he will never let us forget it. That's how Trump is. You just served him a softball, and he's going to keep hitting that ball over the fence every chance he can.
Well, recent poll.